Picture this. You've walked for 6 hours through snow that swallows your legs to the knee. Your spear is ready. Your breath is a rope of fog in front of your face. And the herd you tracked since dawn just vanished over a ridge, gone, as if the tundra swallowed them too. You have nothing. But the real answer to what happens next is far stranger than starvation. Your ancestors did not simply go hungry and hope. They had already built an entire hidden survival system for exactly this moment. A system so effective that it kept humans alive through tens of thousands of years of failed hunts, brutal cold, and empty plains. You inherited pieces of that system. You still carry them in your body right now. Here is what almost nobody tells you about Ice Age life. Hunting large game was not reliable. It was not even close to reliable. Anthropologist Kim Hill, who spent decades living among the Aike people of Paraguay, documented something surprising. Even skilled hunters using excellent knowledge of animal behavior failed to bring home meat on most days. Not some days, most days. So how did anyone survive? The answer starts with a shift in mindset that modern people rarely make. Ancient humans were not big game specialists, gambling everything on the hunt. They were generalists. Constant, tireless, unglamorous generalists. When the mammoth or the reindeer got away, the day did not end in defeat. It simply moved to Plan 2. Plan 2 was gathering, and gathering, historically, mattered more than hunting ever did. Researcher James Suzman, who lived among the Juhuansi hunter-gatherers of the Kalahari, found something that reshapes the entire picture of ancient life. In many hunter-gatherer societies, gathered plant foods provided the majority of daily calories, not meat. Roots, tubers, nuts, frozen berries clinging to branches, underground fungi sniffed out by smell alone. During Ice Age winters, this shifted towards stored and preserved plant matter, collected in warmer months and hidden away for exactly this kind of day. Your ancestors were master forecasters of scarcity. They didn't wait for hunger to strike. They prepared for it constantly. Think about that for a second. Every warm season was treated as a countdown. Every root pulled from the ground in summer was really food banked against a January they hadn't even reached yet. This wasn't laziness insurance, it was survival architecture. And when even the stored plants ran low, the next fallback kicked in: scavenging. This part surprises people the most. Ancient humans regularly ate meat they did not kill. Predators like saber-toothed cats and cave hyenas made kills across the Ice Age landscape, and early humans followed the signs: circling birds, a silence in the grass, the smell of blood carried on wind. They would move in, sometimes chase off a smaller predator, and take what remained. Bone marrow, rich in fat and calories, was often the last resource left on a carcass. And humans had already developed tools specifically to crack into it. Marrow mattered more than most people realize. In a freezing climate, fat is not a luxury. Fat is survival currency. A lean protein diet with no fat can actually be dangerous. Sometimes fatal in extreme cold, a condition later explorers called rabbit starvation. Ancient humans somehow understood, generation after generation, that marrow and fat reserves were worth the risk of confronting a predator's leftovers. So when the hunt failed, humans didn't panic. They pivoted: gather, store, scavenge, adapt again. But there's a fourth layer to this system, and it might be the most important one of all. It has nothing to do with food itself. It's the group. Anthropologist Christopher Boehm studied something he called reverse dominance hierarchy, the idea that ancient human bands actively prevented any one person from hoarding resources or claiming superior status. Food, especially in hard seasons, was distributed across the group rather than kept by whoever found it. A failed hunt for one person did not mean starvation for that person alone, because the entire band shared risk together. This is the part your body and brain still remember even now. You feel it every time you crave connection during a hard week. You feel it every time isolation makes a bad situation feel unbearable. That feeling isn't random, it's ancient. Sharing food in Ice Age life was survival insurance stretched across dozens of people instead of one. Which brings us to something even stranger. Failure itself was expected. It was built into the culture. Modern people often imagine ancient life as a constant knife edge, one bad day away from death. But constant failure that is planned for isn't fragile. It's resilient. A system built assuming hunts will fail most of the time is far stronger than one that assumes every hunt must succeed. You can see this pattern almost everywhere hunter-gatherer societies have been studied. Multiple fallback food sources, shared risk across the group, preserved calories stored in advance, deep practical knowledge of which plants, insects, and small animals could fill a gap when large game vanished. Even insects and grubs, often overlooked today, provided crucial fat and protein during desperate stretches, especially for children and nursing mothers who needed steady nutrition the most. Nothing about this was chaotic. It was closer to a rehearsed emergency plan, refined across thousands of generations until it became instinct rather than thought. And this is where the story quietly turns back toward you. Right now, your brain still reacts to scarcity the way an Ice Age brain did. When food feels unpredictable, you crave fat and sugar more intensely because your biology still assumes calories might vanish tomorrow. When plans fall through, some part of you searches instinctively for a backup, a plan two, even before you consciously decide to. And when things go wrong, you still feel the pull toward other people, not away from them. Because for most of human history, isolation during hardship was the actual danger, not the hardship itself. You are not fragile when your first plan fails. You are built, quite literally engineered by tens of thousands of years of Ice Age winters to expect failure and route around it. So the next time your day falls apart, your plans collapse. Or the thing you were counting on simply disappears the way that herd vanished over the ridge. Remember what your ancestors already knew long before you were born. The hunt was never the whole plan, it was only step one. And somewhere inside you, a much older, much steadier system is already looking for step two.